Okay, so James Gunn is the head of DC, and he's basically rebooting the DC, universe, starting next year with Superman. And I thought, hey, we've had 10 plus years of the DCEU, and why not, let's rank them since it's over. Let's rank the DCEU. And I think there's 15 movies if I counted right. So, buckle up. We're gonna rank all 15 of them, and let's do it. All right, so typically when I do these tier lists, I go out of order, but I think it makes more sense if I did this in order of release. So, with that being said, let's start with the one that started it all, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Man, if you knew me in 2013, you would have known that this was, as hype as it gets. I'm a big Superman fan, and that trailer was like one of the best trailers I've ever seen. Still to this day, I think that trailer is phenomenal. And Man of Steel was kind of disappointing. Like a lot of DC films, I think that for a lot of these films, there's a lot of fandom around these films, and there's a lot of detractors who hate these films. And I think a lot of these films, Man of Steel included, I don't think it's as good as a lot of people say, but I also don't think it's as bad as everyone says. I think it's a completely fine, middle of the road, superhero film. Henry Cavill is fantastic. We all love Henry Cavill. Everyone loves Henry Cavill. He's amazing. The cast is great. Amy Adams, Lawrence Fishburne, Michael Shannon. Yeah, overall, it's just kind of a mess. The last hour is just, the movie just bombards you with just action after action after action. And it's just like, that last hour of Man of Steel is just utter chaos. And, it's just, it's unrelenting. I don't know, it just becomes exhausting. But again, it's not that bad of a movie. There's a lot of aspects I do like. But yeah, Man of Steel for me, the one that kickstarted it all, I'm gonna give Man of Steel a C. I think it's a C. Then we have the follow-up, Batman v Superman. I wish they just would have done Man of Steel 2, or just given given Ben Affleck his own Batman movie, but instead we got this. There are two versions of this movie. There's the theatrical and the ultimate. I'm gonna review. I know the poster is of the theatrical, but I'm just gonna do the ultimate edition. That seems to be the fan favorite, and for good reason. I think the ultimate edition is, it definitely improves the theatrical cut. That's for sure. There's a lot of aspects I liked. I liked that Clark Kent's in the movie more. Like I said, I'm a big Superman fan, so more Clark Kent was great. But yeah, overall, this movie is just a mess, man. This movie is a mess. One of the things I hate the most about this movie is Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I cannot take that guy seriously in that role. To me, he was just annoying, like almost unbearable. I did like Wonder Woman's inclusion at the end. I love her theme song. I mean, everyone loves that. The Doomsday fight's pretty fun. Again, it's a little overlong, but I think it's a pretty fun fight between Doomsday and Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Yeah, some of the stuff that bothers a lot of people in this movie don't really bother me that much. Like the Martha thing, I think it's overblown. I think it's fine. It's it's not the best reason for Batman not to kill Superman, but I think people are being a little too overreactive about that. I think it was it was okay. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. But yeah, overall, the Ultimate Edition I definitely think is worth a watch. It's definitely better than the theatrical. But still not that great of a movie. I also want to shout out to the opening of this movie. The opening of this movie is fantastic. With you're getting to see the destruction of Metropolis. The fight from Superman and Zod, but from Bruce Wayne's perspective. I thought that cold opening was fantastic. It's still like one of the best openings of this entire DCEU. That being said, though. Yeah, I'm giving this a C. It's going right next to Man of Steel. Then there's this. Oh, I hate this movie. I hate this movie so much. This movie is awful. This might be the worst DCEU movie on this list. It is. You don't get to know any of the characters. The exposition is absurd. Like, I think within like the first 6 to 7 minutes, there's 7 different montages with 7 different music tracks, and they're just bombarding you with exposition about who these characters are, but you don't really get to know any of them. The villain is just a throwaway villain. It's just, this movie is like nothing. This movie is nothing. This is like a big nothing burger. This movie sucks. This movie sucks. Jared Leto, I'm looking at the poster. I forgot Jared Leto was even a thing. I forget in this universe. I'm so used to Joaquin Phoenix at this point. Jared Leto, I don't know. I appreciate him swinging for the fences, but it's Jared Leto being Joker. That is what it is. The Suicide Squad sucks. This movie is awful. It's going right to the D. Ugh, that movie sucks. Then there's Wonder Woman. I enjoy the hell out of this movie. I think this movie's fun, man. It's Wonder Woman and Chris Pine going on an adventure. It's charming. It's lighthearted. It has a good story. The only thing that I don't really love about Wonder Woman is that the end just kind of becomes, fight off the big CG bad guy, CG battle. Luckily, it's not like too ridiculous and too over the top and too much destruction and explosions. It's pretty relegated to, I think they're fighting in an Air Force base, if I remember right. So, at least there's that. They're not in a city where everything's being destroyed. But yeah, I think this movie is delightful. It's a lot of fun. It's funny, and it has Chris Pine. I mean, come on, Chris Pine is fantastic. I bought into the relationship. I bought into the romance. I thought Wonder Woman was great. I'm gonna give Wonder Woman. You know what? I'm giving that Wonder Woman that A. Wonder Woman is easily one of the best DCEU movies out there, and if you haven't seen it in a while, I recommend you revisiting it. It's a good little flick, that Wonder Woman. Then there's Jason Momoa. Oh yeah, bro, Aquaman. This movie is pretty solid. It's nowhere near as bad as something like Suicide Squad. God, man, I'm looking at Amber Heard. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy we live in a post-Amber Heard world? Man, the times were different back then in 2018. Aquaman's kind of fun. It's again a lighthearted. It's silly. Doesn't take itself too seriously. I thought it had an interesting take on how to get people to talk underwater. I think the action was kind of fun. Again, this is another one of those. The climax is just over the top, bombarding you with nonstop action, which I could do without. Can we just all agree just to condense the action? We don't need 40 minutes of action. Can we just do a solid on the edge of your seat 15 minutes of action, then we're out? I wish that more movies would do that, but unfortunately this one does not do that. This one's a lot of fun. William Dafoe is in there. Gotta love some William Dafoe. Everyone loves William Dafoe. It's a pretty solid story about him and his brother. It's very Shakespearean. The brother is doing evil things. Got to stop the brother and get the trident. James Wan's direction I thought was pretty good. Well choreographed action. Overall, it's pretty solid. Pretty solid, that Aquaman. We're gonna give Aquaman a B. Then there's Shazam. Hold on. I want to look at this list real quick because I want to say that Shazam. Yeah, I want to say Shazam is the most underrated DCEU movie of the entire universe. This movie rules. I love this movie. This movie is fantastic. It's funny. It's got a decent villain. It has good action. It has a good story. It checks all of the boxes. It's not a perfect movie, but man, this movie is entertaining as hell. It's a shame that no one really talks about it. What's his name? Zachary Levi. So much fun. All the kids are fun. You're laughing. You're cheering. You're along for the ride. It's with Billy Batts, if I remember right. Man, this movie is just a joy, and it's kind of a winter movie. So if you're looking for a superhero winter movie, watch Shazam. The movie has snow. It takes place in Philadelphia in the snow time, winter time. Shazam's great. I love Shazam. I'm going to give Shazam some love today, and we're putting Shazam right up there in the A. Then we got Birds of Prey. Yeah, this is another one I think is pretty damn solid. I wasn't expecting much from this movie, and I had a great time watching it. I only saw it once in theaters, but man, I just had a blast with it. The cast is great. Obviously, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is like some of the best, is like perfect casting. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Rosie Perez, Ewan McGregor chewing up scenery in his villain performance. Like, I thought he was fantastic and like genuinely creepy. I remember there's that scene where he's at his club and there's like a woman dancing on the bar, or he makes a woman dance on the bar. I remember that whole scene just being like, oh my gosh, like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna hurt somebody? Is he gonna go off? And that's the kind of villain that I like. I don't like the mustache twirling, beefy. I like the more sinister, unsettling type of villain. I think Ewan McGregor just nailed that. And plus, it's Ewan McGregor. Who doesn't love Ewan McGregor? But yeah, some fun action. That climax at the end at I think it's amusement park. It's a lot of fun. I think at one point there's I think it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead's fighting, and she like does up her hair, puts it in a ponytail. I was like, little subtleties like that. I'm like, man, I've never seen a woman in a fight scene stop what she's doing to like put her hair up. Little things like that are like sprinkled throughout the movie. I think are nice touches. But overall, yeah, it's a solid, R-rated, fun Harley Quinn movie. So we're gonna give Birds of Prey a B, right next to Aquaman. Now it's time for Wonder Woman 84 in December of 2020. That's what I remember most about this movie is when it was released. It got released on HBO Max, so we all watched it at home. And I gotta say, I do not like this movie at all. And it sucks because, I put Wonder Woman in A. I love that first movie. And this movie just shit the bed. This movie is so bad. I did not like any of it. Kristen Wiig's doing her thing, which was fun, but this movie was just like nothing. Like, this movie was just a complete nightmare. I don't know, man. Like, maybe I'll go back and watch it, and maybe I'll change my mind. But I remember watching this and being like, you're completely ruining that first movie. Not that it's ruined. Obviously, you can go back, watch it, and it's fine. But I'm just saying that as a sequel, this movie was like 5 steps down. Like, ugh. And the fact that like they brought Chris Pine back, or that she's still like in love with him, I'm like, I get it. Every damn movie that Wonder Woman's in, she's talking about Chris Pine. And like, I get it. He's Chris Pine. I understand. But it's like, dude, at some point, you got to let this Chris Pine, you can't let that be your character. And that's what most of this movie was. And the action, I don't remember being, particularly interesting or exciting. I think that fight scene in the mall that opens the movie was a lot of fun. But after that mall scene, just watch that and you're good to go. You know what? I'm being a little harsh on this one, but I genuinely do not like this movie. I will never watch it again. At least like movies in that, like I can watch Man of Steel again. I can watch the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman. But movies like Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman 84, I'm never going to watch again, nor do I have a desire to. It's going in the D. All right, then we get the big one, the big 4-hour epic Justice League. Obviously, I there's the other Justice League. I was kind of, do I want to rank both of them? I just said, you know what, I'm just picking the Snyder Cut. And man, I cannot believe that this got made. Isn't that wild? For so many years, people were just like, release the Snyder Cut, and they did it. They did it. Here we are. 4 hours long. Zack Snyder's, put his cut together, and it's pretty damn good. It's way better than Justice League, the theatrical version. Man, the 4:3 aspect ratio, when I read that, I was like, 4 hours of the 4:3. But when you watch it, it's like, I actually think it elevates the movie. Like the way that he frames action and the way he frames his characters, they're almost like Greek gods, the way he presents them. And I think that 4:3 aspect ratio really helps to kind of drive that point home. It is 4 hours long. I think that's one of the biggest, the weakest parts of the movie. Because it's not the most rewatchable, because it's like, oh, I want to watch Justice League, but do I want to watch 4 hours of it? So I do think that kind of hinders it a little bit. But overall, I think it took the Justice League story, expanded it, blew it up, made it longer, gave all the characters some breathing room, gave the plot some breathing room, definitely improved the Justice League movie. And I want to go back and watch the black and white version. When it came out, it was just the color. But then again, it's like 4 hours. It's like kind of stopping me. But Justice League, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a B for the Justice League. Pretty solid, and one of my favorite Zack Snyder films. I'm not even a big Zack Snyder guy, but yeah, this is one of his best movies, if not his best. Then we got The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. This is my favorite DCEU movie. This is my favorite. I love this movie. I just rewatched it the other night. It's so funny. It's got a good story. It's got a great cast. It's got some good action. Hashtag starfish. Great characters. Oh my gosh. And the way this movie opens is so good. It's so satisfying. I don't want to ruin the opening for those who never got around to watching this. But if you're watching this video at this point and you have not seen Suicide Squad, please go watch this movie. This movie is phenomenal. You're going to have a great time. Every time I sit down and watch it, I have a great time. I love all the setup and payoffs, with the spear, with the rat. The closing moment of this movie is just mwah, with them in the helicopter. Just great characters. It's really funny. The only thing that I don't particularly like about this movie is what they do with Harley. I think that her kind of B plot of this movie isn't all that interesting. And the fact that like the movie kind of opens with the mission, like you have to get to Joheim to do the mission. And multiple times throughout the movie, they're kind of sidelined. They have to go do something else. And one of the things they have to go do is go save Harley. And it's like right before they get to Joheim. So at a certain point, it's like, can we just get to Joheim already? We keep sidelining to get there. I just kind of wish that Harley was along with the group, the core group for the whole movie. I wanted to see her. I wanted to see their banter together, her and everybody else. But unfortunately, she only comes in with the crew until like the last 40 minutes or so. But overall, I love me some Suicide Squad. James Gunn is fantastic. He knows what he's doing, and he made, in my opinion, the best DCEU movie. And Suicide Squad, I don't think it's an S. I don't think it's quite up there, but we're going to give it an A. Okay, then there's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's introduction into the DCEU. And just like Wonder Woman 84, I do not like this movie. I thought this movie sucked. This was a bore fest. This movie meant nothing. I saw it and forgot about it, 5 minutes after I was done watching it. Everything about this movie is so just boring and uninteresting. The villain is ridiculous. It's just, and Black Adam is, as a character, I don't know. It's fine, I get. I don't know. I'm sorry. My brain is like I'm having flashbacks to this damn movie. That scene where he's flying alongside the jets and what is playing? Is it Paint It Black? I want to say there's like a classic rock song playing. It's like they try to use music to make this movie cool and hip, and I'm just like, please stop. This movie is really bad. I do not like this movie at all. We're getting right down there in the D next to Wonder Woman 84 and Suicide Squad. Although, to be fair, I think Suicide Squad is the worst. But yeah, Black Adam is just, it sucks. It sucks. Then there's Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and just like Wonder Woman, I put Shazam and Wonder Woman in the A's, and their sequels are not good. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, it's just... God damn it. God damn it. Like, what is Lucy Liu and who is it? Is that Helen Mirren? What are they doing in this movie? Why do they do this movie? Do you anyone remember what their characters are, what their motivations are, and why? No one knows, and no one cares. The kids are barely in this movie. The movie doesn't even know who the protagonist is. It's just like, and then it does the thing that I've been complaining about, which a lot of these movies do, which is that the last hour of this movie is nothing but action, to where I wanted to take a nap. I was so tired. Not because I was sleepy, it's just because I'm just tired of watching long extended action sequences with explosions and punches, and this movie was a drag. The only thing this movie has going for it is seeing Lucy Liu again. She's fantastic. There's some good comedy bits. There's a bit with the pen that I enjoy quite a bit. But yeah, overall, God damn it, this movie sucked. This movie was not good. So yeah, we're going We're going down in the D again. These sequels, man. These sequels. Then there's The Flash. Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton. You know what? I don't hate this movie as much as everybody else. I actually had a good time with it. I also like time travel movies, so this was my catnip, as you would say. I thought Ezra Miller, despite what's going on in the real world with Ezra Miller, in this movie as the Flash, as Barry Allen, I thought he was great. The dual performance is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It was cool to see Michael Keaton back. I thought this movie was, kind of delightful. Like everyone hates on this movie, and I get it. It's your opinion. You're entitled to have it. But yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with this one. I want to go back and rewatch it. I only saw it that once in theaters, but I had a good time with it. It does get a little ridiculous towards the end, but I actually thought the last fight scene was kind of fun. Going back and fighting Zod, I liked all that stuff. So for me, The Flash is going in the B. Then there's Blue Beetle. I actually watched this for the first time the other night, and I had a good time with it. I don't know if this is one that people hate or not. It gets kind of muddled and confusing because everyone, every YouTuber who reviews movies calls everything woke and everything sucks, and Hollywood and Kathleen Kennedy and fucking, whatever else they're trying to cram down your throat to make money off of you and to get you all mad and upset. I think this is one of those movies that got caught up in that, and it's woke wave, and that's really the only thing I really knew about it, is that people didn't like it for whatever reason. I don't know why. I thought this movie was very enjoyable. It actually reminded me of like the old origin story superhero movies we would get. Now everything is a sequel, and it's big, it's bombastic, and this just felt very grounded, very family oriented, very character oriented. It takes its time. There's not too much action. And I enjoyed that. And I also don't know too much about the Blue Beetle as a character, so seeing how his powers work was all kind of new to me. Obviously I knew Blue Beetle was a thing, but I didn't really know much about him outside of that. Great performances. I forget the main character's name. I apologize, but he was fantastic. Susan Sarandon's there, I guess. They didn't really do much for Susan Sarandon. But yeah, just that family dynamic really what helps the movie. It's the emotional core of the movie, and I think it works. George Lopez is probably my least favorite part of the movie. I think he's a little obnoxious and kind of out of place. At times he's fun, but for the most part, yeah, he was kind of cringe every time he was on screen. But yeah, I thought this movie was pretty damn enjoyable. So, that's just me. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. So we're going to give Blue Beetle... We're going to give it a B. And the last movie in the DCEU, does it go out with a bang? Does this universe say, you know what, we're closing the doors, we're starting something new, but before we go, we're giving you an S tier, we're giving you a banger, we're going to give you one to remember? No. No, they did not. They stopped the DCEU with a whimper. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom... I don't know. It's fine, I guess. The best thing about this movie is Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I thought he was great as Manta and a great villain. We need more of him. Where is he? Where has he been? Put him in more movies. He's fantastic. Aquaman going to get his brother to fight Mantis. It's fine, I guess. This movie... It was okay. It's not as good as the first one. It's not as entertaining. It's not as fresh. But yeah, the only thing this movie has going for it is Mantis. So yeah, this one, I don't hate it. I didn't hate it. I didn't walk away being like, my intelligence has been insulted, and I want to just bang my head against a wall like the other movies in the D. But so we're gonna put it right there in the C. I think it's a middle of the road, just solid superhero movie where you can just shovel popcorn down your throat and have a good time. Okay, that is my ranking for the DCEU. Wonder Woman, Shazam, The Suicide Squad in A, Aquaman, Birds of Prey, Justice League, The Flash, Blue Beetle in B, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, Aquaman Lost Kingdom in C, and The Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman 84, Black Adam, Shazam, Fear of the Gods in the D. Now, this is just my opinion. Let me know what your opinion is. Would you rank these differently? Or, is my tier list whack? Is it stupid? Is it wrong? Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or don't agree with me. And I guess the last question I'll leave you with is: are you excited? What's coming down the pipeline for DC? I, for one, like James Gunn. Like I said, multiple times in this video, I love Superman. So seeing a James Gunn Superman, I am thrilled to go watch. I cannot wait. I don't care what people are saying about the costume. I could care less. I want to see the movie. I can't wait to see what James Gunn does with the DC universe. So yeah, I mean, who knows? He could ruin it. It could be worse than what we have here. Who knows? No, we won't know until the future. So. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, I will see you on the next one.